Story 1. Long story, my younger stepbrother, 22-year-old, has had a GF for a couple years and lived with our parents. My father got a job that relocated them to a new city about 3 hours away, and my stepbrother's GF moved in with them to finish college in that new town while my stepbrother was in between towns with our family and his. Got a good job in our old town and broke it off or took a break with his GF for a couple weeks. My older brother 28, who is a real nice guy but always been in between places, needed a place to stay. He got a job in that new town and moved in temporarily with our parents and the GF. Come to find out, my older brother and stepbro GF ended up sleeping with each other, and after he left, the GF got back together with my stepbrother, moved out and in together, and have been together for about a year now. I can't stand her and never could since I met her, although the stepbrother has never been as close as I and my older brother. Still seems wrong, and I want to tell my stepbrother, but that would cause a whole family ordeal. Everybody knows about it, even the parents except him. I would hate to see them get married, but then again I think it isn't my business or place to stir things up. Should I mind my business? TLDR, should I tell my stepbrother his girlfriend slept with my brother, or mind my business? If you were in your stepbrother's place, would you want someone to tell you about this? I would, but in my situation, my older brother is my best friend. I'm sure he would feel as though I betrayed him. He has the right to know. It's such an awful thing, the entire family knowing and not bothering to tell him. I'd expect to be able to trust my family enough that they'd be truthful, regardless of what it was about. He deserves to know. Keeping it from him is a really crappy thing to do, especially because it's family keeping him in the dark. Yeah, I know our family definitely has problems of their own, and his mom, my dad's wife, who I'm not close with, specifically said that she sees both of them as her own and didn't want to cause loathing between them. Right. It might be helpful to think of it this way. Telling him gives him the opportunity to make a decision about the situation. Maybe he'll break up with her, maybe he won't. But he'll have all the info to think about what comes next before they have kids / have been together for so long it's hard to separate. I would tell him. He may not care, which is his prerogative. I feel bad for him, being that no one in the family seems to care if he will be hurt over it. I agree with what Lazy Lindy said. He deserves to know. What your older brother and her GF did behind his back is disgusting, awful, unacceptable and cruel. But what is even more cruel is hiding something like that from him. Caring for your stepbrother means being truthful and honest with him. Tell him and let him decide what to do next. I hope he will do the right thing and cut off the girl for good, find someone better and move on with his life. As for your older brother, he needs to face the consequences of it and has to deal with it. Story 2. My first love broke up with me 2 years ago. She has been in a new relationship for about a year now. In the past 2 years, me and her have remained good friends. I value her a lot and care about her. There is no bad blood, even though our breakup was messy. 2 days ago, she calls me in the middle of the night crying and asks to stay at my house. When she arrived, she was sobbing. She went on to tell me her and her boyfriend were arguing. We ended up going to my room and drinking a little bit, put on a movie, and I'm sure you know what happens next. When we woke up, I explained that I was sorry and I should have stopped it. She told me that she didn't regret it and that I wasn't at fault. We went on to spend almost the whole day together. Tonight she texts me saying that she can't even kiss her boyfriend because she feels so bad. She's blaming herself and saying she's not sure if she should tell him, and that he would surely leave her. I don't want her to be hurt and I feel like a homewrecker. I don't know what I was thinking. I've always loved her, but I value having her as a friend more than a few minutes of pleasure. I fear that I've ruined her relationship and our friendship. TLDR. I slept with my ex who has a boyfriend. I feel like a homewrecker. I think that she should tell him. If this happened to me, I wouldn't know if I would want to hear it from the person who cheated on me or the person they cheated with. Either way, it's tough news for her boyfriend to hear. In the meantime, I think you should focus a bit more on you. Reading this makes me feel like you're genuine in your feelings of guilt, so just work through that and try not to define yourself by this action. What becomes of their relationship should not involve you further, and ultimately, if a friendship does continue between you and your ex, clear boundaries need to be in place. I don't think there is much you can do other than to ride this one out. Accepting the mistake, self-reflection and trying to learn from it is what I'd honestly do. Best of luck, friend. Your ex had a fight with her BF and called you up for says. She doesn't regret it, but doesn't want you to think of her as a cheater, which she is. You can expect to be her casual says again if you are willing to keep her secret, or until he figures it out. You are now her backup plan. You didn't ruin her relationship, she did that. But you changed your relationship with her? You went from friend to official plan B. She needs to tell him, there's no we. If I were you, I'd tell her that if she doesn't tell him, you will. You both did something wrong, but she did something way more wrong. She knew what she was doing as soon as she called you. She betrayed someone who loves and trusts her and won't even do the bare minimum right thing now by being honest, and instead is forcing this person to be with a cheater without even knowing. If she knows he'd leave her if he knew the truth, it's so ducked up to force him to stay by lying. Sounds like her problem. She called you. I don't know why you're getting roped into the situation of their relationship. I agree with what fragrant_spray said. It was all her doing. You didn't ruin her relationship, she did that. She willingly went to you and slept with you, and the worst thing is she did not even regret it. I will be blunt to you. You slept with a cheater. Deal with that. Doesn't even matter if she is your first love. She should tell him what happened and accept the consequences of it. Story 3. So my story is we met really young. She was 18 and I was 19. Now we are both in our early 30s. She confessed all a year ago. We, thankfully, don't have kids. Since D-Day my life went into a spiral. I've been really depressed since, but hiding it. No one knows, except me. I went just one time to a therapist, didn't help. We got married 6 years ago. She had a long relationship with the first one, other guy was in a 10-day travel, and the last one a one-night duck. She confessed everything, every little detail. Crap hurts. Our relationship, as you may know, wasn't perfect but wasn't too bad either. We get along really good. I've been there for her ever since we met, and she was a sweetheart on our early days together. I've never in my 32 years have ever touched another woman. We are still together in the same house. I don't have anywhere else to go. She have been really committed to me and our new relationship, if you want to name it. But deep inside I'm totally unhappy. I'm saving enough money to leave her. Do it, man. Leave her and not ever look back. You only will be miserable if you stay together. You deserve better. Thank you. Yes, I will. I'm saving some money, so when I got all my things together I'm gonna disappear. Mate, I'm really sorry you're finding yourself in such a difficult situation. Let's analyze the situation. She is a serial cheater and she's exposed you to what's known as betrayal trauma. Look on Google for more details on it. You need therapy. Serial cheaters have very precise behavioral traits that are well known in psychological literature. They are dishonest, liars, manipulators, con people, selfish, self-centered, lack integrity, cowards, have double lives, are sneaky and shady, expose you to STIs, and many other undesirable and toxic traits. We're talking about not only being broken, they have a bad character too. Also, most often than not they have some ongoing mental issue, typically some cluster B disorder, narcissism, borderline, psychopathy, or a mix of them. This is what she truly is. She's broken and a bad person, period. Finally, cheating and having affairs is mistreatment, and your wife is an offender. You cannot trust any word coming from her mistreating mouth. Talking is cheap, actions are what truly matter, and she has hurt you beyond any reasonable threshold. I'd suggest you to prepare a careful exit plan, because this situation is gutting your mental and physical well-being. Talk to some lawyer to understand what you can do. You should also talk to your family and friends about what's going on in your relationship. Keeping everything inside is literally destroying your mental health. You should do therapy. Seriously, this can be a lifesaver. Finally, keep posting in the sub and also in our /surviving infidelity. They are places where you can safely vent and you'll get tons of valuable advices. Hugs, mate. I'm sure you'll get on top of this difficult situation. Thank you so much for your words. Means a ton. Plan your exit strategy and leave as expeditiously as possible. Sorry for your wasted decade, but you're young and you've got lots more decades ahead of you. Get out as soon as possible. Totally agree with all the commenters here. You do not deserve someone like that. Cut her off, never look back and move on with your life. Wish you all the best OP. Worldwide comments of the day. Best way to deal with a cheater is to treat them like they don't exist. All they want is attention from everyone but you anyway. Cheaters are next to unforgiving. Almost always they say let's work it out. Only after they already cheated. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting and relatable Reddit videos.